This World Cup knockout stage edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by WynnBet. WynnBet is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBet has what you need to win. Sign up today, bet $100 and get a $100 free bet at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET.
Hey, this is Eric Metcalf. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Sean, we're here to talk about soccer.
Yes, a lot of people are questioning our fitness, but we are 100% ready to break down all the action on the pitch. And we're going to talk knockout stage. Obviously, the USA advanced as predicted. My 150-1 long shot of the USA winning it all, Ryan, is alive and well. So my favorite of Argentina also alive, and ready to go.
We did hit a sweet exacta with the Netherlands and Senegal, so shout out to us.
Yes. We're going to be breaking it down. And before we do that, shout out to WynnBet. As always, bet big, win bigger with WynnBet. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. They got a ton of soccer action, including the ability to build your own bet, aka a same game parlay for the World Cup action. Make it super exciting. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. Bet big, win bigger. Get that $100 free bet. I mean, if you're not, you are missing out. And as always, offer subjects to change. Terms and conditions at wynnbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where play through WynnBet is available. If you or somebody who knows a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Joining us on the line from the Soccer Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, he is Mr. Billi Bhatti. What's up, Billy? How's it going?
Yeah, it's going good. Just soccer every day, 3 games a day. It's going to be reducing now to 2 games a day for the next 4 days. But yeah, difficult tournament to handicap for sure. It's exciting, but very, very difficult to handicap. I'll be happy to come out of this without a loss. It's not your normal tournament where I'm looking at all of these futures and waiting for them to cash. That's for sure.
It feels a little bit like got March Madness vibes. A lot of unsure things happened.
Yeah, no, it does. It does seem like it's been a pretty big as far as the upsets, at least in some of these individual games.
Japan won a group with Spain and Germany.
Yeah,
for example.
Been the biggest upset? The thing that you were like watching the World Cup, you're like, I did not see this coming.
Yeah, I think for me it still goes back to the Argentina game where the world record was on the line. and they lost that game to Saudi. All the more surprising when you see that there was really no rhyme or reason for it, because they have come back. You could point to nervousness or the occasion got to them, but they got straight back on the bike and carried on playing the way they were coming into the tournament against 2 more difficult opponents. They breezed past those games comfortably. So it really is the biggest anomaly. You were undefeated for 36 games. You lost. Maybe, you can point to tournament pressure and everything that was on your shoulders. And obviously, that's co-signed by the fact that even punters came in and took this team from 11-1, where they were in a year ago, down to the plus 500 or plus 600, depending where you go, second favorites. Definitely second favorites across the board, just dependent on price. So everybody was bought in. So you can look at that and go, oh, they put themselves under extreme pressure and they can't cope with it. But then they did cope with it. So that's why that pure anomaly. Whereas, when you look at Germany and you look at Belgium, they were consistently bad throughout the tournament. They consistently didn't know how to score goals, missed chances. Belgium didn't even create. So you looked at these two teams, and they came to Qatar. They laid an egg. Denmark as well. Three teams that were very, very political, ironically, trying to make political gestures, all going home. But, you can't really point to any kind of, refereeing decision or anything like that went against them. I just feel that their minds weren't on what they should have been on. So Argentina weren't that. So for me, that's still the standout. But obviously, there's upsets galore on a daily basis. When you look at the halftime in play of Japan qualifying being 66-1, and today when you look at the halftime line of Korea being 25-1, yeah, these are two obviously massive things that happened in the last 2 days alone.
Yeah, no, it started out with that Argentina loss, and then there's crazy.
Yesterday, CJ coming by the studio to record Bottom Line Bombs. Clearly was hoping for a different outcome than what was going on in the Japan, Spain, and Germany taking on Costa Rica. It was
the games happening at the same time in that third game does create some added drama because it's like, hey, if this team gets one more goal, then this team has the goal differential, and they should. It does create some.
Sean's getting into it.
No, I do think it's smart to play that third game because it adds to the to already the drama there. All right, what we're gonna do? We're gonna rapid fire.
Let me just say who is collectively smart as a group, all three of us. When I analyzed the situation where we looked at inferior teams setting up with the low block, and we took first half unders, 53% of the games haven't had a goal in the first half, and obviously a halftime draw pays out at plus money. So obviously the odds were reduced from where you may have been getting somewhere around plus 150 to more like plus 120 for most games now. But still, that's 53% at plus money for every single game. That's a winning trend.
Yeah, and the first game, first half unders 10-5-1. And to Billy's point, there's some plus odds in there. Shout out to Big Poppy Seed. He threw this out. If you bet every one unit on every first half under a half goal specifically, you would have finished 24-24 with a 15 unit profit. Again, a lot of plus odds there. So once again, the first half system it works. It works across many sports, many different lands. It's beautiful. It unites everyone.
Yes,
it's better than FIFA.
Add that to our model, Ryan.
we should. We're doing a better job than FIFA at uniting the world through first half unders.
Bringing peace and getting people paid. All right, what we're gonna do? We're gonna go through the knockout stage games real quick, and then close it out with the stuff on Saturday. Obviously, Netherlands, USA, Argentina, Australia to close it out. But let's jump ahead there to Sunday. France, Poland, 7:00 West Coast kick. Poland coming in here as a massive dog. The home team, I guess, would be. Oh wait, or no? Am I reading this? Who is the away team in this situation? Is it Poland then?
Second team, yeah.
Okay, so France is coming in as a.
Because they're the one seed. They won the group. Poland was the 2 seed.
Poland's the 2 seed.
Yeah, so you got France as the technical 1 seed. Well, it just matters with colors, That's
well, then okay, because it has home, tie, and away.
Oh, I see. You're looking at odds that way. Yeah, home is France.
Okay, so France is -3, so they're the top team here.
Yes.
Okay.
Soccer does it backwards. So our brain is thought to look to the right and bottom for home team, but in soccer land,
well, and it's a neutral field too.
It's left and top. It's
all right.
Everything's backwards.
France.
Did you know they drive on the wrong side of the road too?
France -315. Tie is +425. Poland 10-1. Poland a bit of a surprise to make it out of the group. Just as far as advance, draw no bet is France -1250. Poland +700. What do you like in this game, Billy?
Yeah, it's difficult when you have a team that are that short, especially when I don't think they've been wholly convincing, especially for world champions.
Yeah,
I think we saw the real Poland when they come up against top opponents in the last game against Argentina. They had the 0-0 draw of Mexico. They managed to beat Saudi Arabia, and this is what Poland notoriously do through qualifying campaigns. They beat teams beneath them, and they try and sit in against teams who are better than them. They did that successfully in one of the games in their group for qualifying against England. But ultimately, I don't think it's going to work here. I think once the game opens up, France seem to be conceding against everybody. It doesn't matter if it's like Australia or Tunisia; they've conceded in every game. This is a trend that they brought into the tournament as well. So this is a team who attack first and don't really think about defending, even though they should, because they have some of the best defenders in the world in the team, like Rafa Varane from Man United, for example, Koundé, who's just moved to Barcelona for massive money. So they should defend a lot better, but they don't. There's question marks over the goalkeeper, who's well into his 30s now, Tottenham's Lloris. Maybe he's partially to blame for this. Maybe he shouldn't be the keeper anymore. But you're not gonna resolve that in the next 24 hours. So I still feel that both teams to score could provide some value, and perhaps tacking that onto the money line bet on France. If you can obviously build that at WynnBet as one of the features. So maybe that could be the way to go.
Yeah, both teams to score is yes plus 140. So you don't even really. I mean, you could put in the France money line as well, but I'll just take. I just like both teams to score at plus 140. That feels like that's all you need to think about.
I mean, we got to think about this. Minus 600. Are we talking about like 10.5, 11 points on a Sunday?
As far as what?
The money line, the advanced line on France. I'm just saying, like, I'm just looking at this, like, France that has been, have they been that good? Do they deserve to be laying this many points?
I don't think they deserve to be a massive favorite. I mean,
both these teams.
Poland at 10-1 to win in 90 minutes.
No.
I think
with the way this tournament's been going.
Yeah, there's bound to be some shockers.
And both these teams happy Germany's not in the tournament anymore.
No, seriously. Next up, your team, Billy, England, a minus 185. Draw is plus 290, and then Senegal a plus 650 dog to win in 90 minutes. England, what was your take of England in the group stage? Obviously, we destroyed you with that awesome draw, but what else was your takeaway from their first three games?
It's a difficult one because under public. They won the first game and everybody was rah rah, and then they ended up with a draw against the US, and it wasn't really the fact that we draw with the US. It was the manner of the draw, where we were outshot by the US and USA were pushing for the win in the last 30 minutes, and we decided to take the draw. It's all very Gareth Southgate. It's all kind of the accusations that have been put on him. It's already coming off the back of the Euros, where England went 1-0 up against Italy after 3 minutes and decided to sit on that lead. They decided to stop pushing for goals and going for the jugular when Italy were there for the taking. So this is a criticism that's been fired at him, and going defensive with 30 minutes to go against the US and taking a draw, it didn't help him at all in the media. So he kind of caved into that. And in the last game, we saw Rashford and Foden and Kane and this entirely different team that the public have been asking for 2 years. So I don't know what we're going to get here, whether we're going to see the same team or whether he's going to just go back to being his very pragmatic type coach that he is. So it's really difficult until you see this team sheet to know what England are going to do. I feel that taking England on the money line and tacking on some sort of under, maybe not as low as under 2.5, but perhaps under 3.5, under 4.5 is a pretty safe way to go. Because Senegal are going to do what they do. They're going to sit in like they do against bigger teams. They're going to implement the same tactics that they did against the Dutch. That's how they're going to. I mean, against Ecuador was totally different because it was a must-win game. But when you look at how Senegal will approach this game, they will copy what they did against Holland, which is sitting deep. And again, your first half under angle comes in here, and it may be a consistent formula throughout covering these matches because you are having group winners against group runners up, and there is still that inferiority there. I mean, we saw Poland as a significant underdog. Senegal are a significant underdog here when you look at the qualification odds, not necessarily the three-way market. So yeah, they will respect England. They respect all these Premier League players. They'll sit in. They'll make it difficult. They're going to try and be physical with us because that's their advantage. So yeah, it's going to be a difficult game. But I feel that if they go out with the same team, they'll pick this team apart, and an early goal will change everything. But I don't trust this manager. He's very negative. He played as a defender for his career, so it's in him to be negative.
So if you do the win bet, build your own bet, England to win in 90 and under 3.5, you can get at -110 odds, which that feels that's pretty juicy. Getting it all the way up to 3.5.
You can play tie for the double, the halftime, full time, halftime tie, full game. England is +255. England first half, England second half is +140. If you do think they get that early goal, but I mean to the point of the first half under, to the point of Senegal hunkering down. If England doesn't do anything, tie going into the half, you then have England to win in 90 at +255, which, not a live betting savant, Sean, but that feels like a good price. Feels like value.
No, yeah,
I like how Billy called him "we" as well.
Yeah,
that was nice.
It's classic. I appreciate that.
And he's looking
Fitness,
fit in that sweatshirt.
Yeah,
Sean.
he's rocking the SGPN athletics gear like that. And I mean, I like that. I like that parlay. England money line, and then.
Well, my big question is: this isn't when England chokes. No, Billy.
I don't think so. Not here. Just simply because I don't think the opponent has enough. I don't think they have enough dangers to trouble us. In other games they would possess an aerial threat, but I think that's where Maguire and Stones have things covered. I think when we come up against a team where we face some like real pace and some movement, like I fear for us. If we come up against Kylian Mbappe, I expect we will, because I expect them to advance against Poland. Mbappe against Harry Maguire is a matchup that is very intimidating. So I feel that could be the exit for England.
All right, so I'm just penciling this in, but France and England I've put into a advanced parlay so far. 2 in, we're moving on. Big time money line parlay. What's next, Sean?
Yeah,
and by the way, with this hoodie, I was being legit when I was doing my ad reads. I have soccer tops, and when they have anything printed on them, it starts cracking.
Yeah.
Throughout the season, as you that's why soccer shirts only last 12 months and they change them, because you wash them enough time to start cracking. This has survived about 30 washes over the last 2 years, and it's not got. It looks like I just got it out of the packet today. It's a survivor. This top, it doesn't wear at all. That was a genuine thing that I put into all my reads, because I have some old SGP stuff and I can just roll it out and just put it on, and it doesn't look old at all.
Sean is beaming right now at this promotion.
Love a good natural plug there by Billy. Appreciate that. And watch out for Poland. Ryan, I know you have France advancing. This Polish team is scrappy.
You're a comedian. Is this a joke? I'm not. No. I'm not up to speed on the new Polish humor.
There's a lot of Polish jokes, right?
How many Polacks does it take to win a soccer game?
That team, they're trotting out on the pitch. 11 guys playing.
Yeah, they're gonna play with 10.
Japan, Croatia. They square off Monday morning, 7 a.m. West Coast kick. Japan +285, tie, aka draw, 225. Croatia +110. This one's kind of interesting, Billy. A little bit more of a toss-up. Japan did win the group, right? And
yeah.
So that's interesting that they're the dog, even though they won the group. Does their momentum carry them against a win versus Croatia?
Yeah, Croatia haven't looked great, other than when Canada's legs went and they were able to extend the lead. As Canada were chasing that game, Croatia were able to pick them off, which is surprising because Croatia have one of the oldest average ages of the tournament. Like this, when we talk about Belgium, when we looked at Croatia versus Belgium playing in that deciding game as to who would go through in second place, it was very much a case of a lot of top names were playing in their final World Cup, like Kevin De Bruyne, Luka Modric, 2 of the best midfielders over the last decade. Playing in that game. Only one of them was going to advance. So Croatia in a similar situation to Belgium. They don't get the golden generation tag, but they were the World Cup finalists last time. But they haven't looked convincing at all. And if there is going to be, there's a few upsets, but this is one that I actually like, because when we're looking at how Spain almost, I feel, deliberately tried to, with the team that they picked and everything, they were quite happy to finish second in the group and avoid Croatia. Now they go and play Morocco, and Japan end up playing Croatia, who seemingly Spain wanted to avoid. And Croatia are probably looking at this and thinking they also avoid Spain. But This Japan team, they run and run and run and run and run, and they've had the legs over these European players. Now, don't forget, in order to get this World Cup in, the top European players, they went Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, all the way from August to here. So in the 70-minute mark, you know, if Japan is still in it, just ask Spain and just ask Germany. They can win the game. So if they can keep things tight, get that first half under, get it to 0-0, and then have more legs than this team who have the highest average age in the tournament, then Japan definitely have a chance of winning this game. And this isn't about names on the team sheet because, you know, we look a lot. I sometimes make the mistake of looking a lot at combined 11s and looking at this and going, okay, there isn't any Japanese players that are going to play for Croatia. But when you look at the situation, when you look at where the game's being played, the kickoff time, the season that the Croatian players have had, and the way that Japan have had the legs in all of their games, like there's a real chance that they could win this if they can hang around and still be in it in the last hour.
I'm glad. I love that Billi said this because this was one of the angles I have, Sean. Japan to win in extra time. So let's say all of what Billi just said happens. They play a grueling game. Japan, they played some sort of draw. Croatia legs are getting tired at the end. Japan wins in extra time is 15-1.
Really?
15-1.
All right, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm with Billi. I like Japan, but I'm going to play it a little safer. I'm just going to take Japan to advance at plus 150. But I like your long shot.
Small dog, maybe.
Yeah. But Billi, so you think? Do you think it's more likely? Do you like getting the extra odds on them at plus 290 in 90 minutes, or do you play it safer with the just advance line?
I think the just advanced line, because I think if we can get to that extra 30-minute period, I mean, the advantage, Croatia need to win this game, in my opinion, in the first 60 minutes. That's their chance to outplay. They're going to make Japan run. They're going to dominate ball possession. But Japan have already won 2 games where they didn't have any of the ball. So they're happy to like chase it around and run all these kilometers, and they've still got stuff in the tank in the last 30 minutes. So I like Japan in the last 30 minutes of the game, and then I definitely like them. I definitely like getting that extended period as well, like Kramer just mentioned.
And for our American audience, kilometers is miles in English.
That's, we were watching that game against Spain, and it was like, guy, you feel bad for this Japan team. The whole first half, they're chasing them around. And to Billy's point, within 10 minutes of the second half, with still no real possession, they score 2 goals, take the lead. So
no, and yeah, I mean their fitness seems pretty high.
What's most crazy about that was the rotated Spain team that most of those players haven't kicked the ball in the tournament yet. So it still shows that, yeah, you may not have played games at this tournament in the last 3 or 4 days, but the season is grueling. To cram in 20 plus games between August and November is crazy. Like, I mean, NFL players couldn't cope with that.
It's a fair point,
we don't even have the term banged up in soccer. It's an American term.
Oh, like, shots fired. Oh no, Sean.
I would guess. I think Derrick Henry could survive 20 soccer games, but that's just me. Brazil, South Korea. This, I mean, Brazil coming in as you'd expect, a pretty massive favorite against the South Koreans, and the line reflects it. Brazil minus 400, draw line plus 500, South Korea plus 1,200, and then Brazil to advance minus 800, South Korea plus 550. I don't know. Does South Korea have any chance here, or is there like a both teams to score bet you like here? Both teams to score is plus 140. What's an interesting way to bet this?
I think Brazil and both teams to score no, not instead of yes, because I feel that I feel this Brazil have only conceded their first goal today when they had their proper midfield in with Casemiro of Man United in there and Fred and their proper back line, which is Thiago Silva and Marquinhos. They didn't concede a single shot on target. There hasn't been a shot on target at the Brazil goal until today, where they changed 9 players. So I feel we get back to that. They're going to dominate the ball. One other way of looking at this could be something that's been consistent in every Brazil game is the halftime draw, because it is taking them time to break down organized teams. They happened against Serbia and Switzerland, and today was a halftime draw as well, but they ended up losing. So yeah, that could be another way to enhance your profit, because Korea could get in halftime level. But their tactics here are going to be, let's sit in, let's be defensive, let's look for a counter attack or a corner or something of that nature. But Brazil will break through with the first team there. When all the top players are playing, they'll break through and they'll win without conceding a goal. This will be 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, something like that.
Yeah, I think. I think I just heard I'm putting Brazil. I'm going to add Brazil into the parlay with France and England. So now we're up to France, England, Brazil, all to advance.
Chalky favorites. What could go wrong?
I'm just a listener.
Of the favorites, this one seems the most obvious. And I think Billy, I do like his case for both teams to score no. If you bet that individually, that's -175 over at WynnBet, and halftime tie. That's a pretty good price as well. So,
and they narrowly avoided a game I don't think they wanted, because Uruguay would have given Brazil a much harder game. They would have given them a horrible game. It's a familiar opponent as well, who would have kicked you and pulled you and just basically, just played dirty. Like Uruguay are known as a dirty team, but within that, there's also more dangers when you're looking at the likes of Darwin Núñez and Valverde. And even like, there's still magic. There would still be magic in Suarez's boots in a moment. He may not be as quick as he was or as fit as he was or whatever, but he can still produce. So you don't have those match winners now. You have hard-working Korean players. Yeah, you have Son of Tottenham, but you can't rely on him solely, especially because he's coming into the tournament with a facial injury and hasn't really done that much. I think just his presence on the field is motivation for Korea, something that Senegal are missing when they lost Sadio Mane, which is their biggest player. Son's actually turned up to the tournament despite not looking 100%, but it's just motivational for him to be there. But you're looking at one match winner compared to what you could have faced with Uruguay. So I think they'll be thankful to get this game, and they'll go through. I'm trying to find as much reasoning for dogs as I can, but I think this is unreasonable to try and make a case here. I don't think there is one.
Halftime draw. I got the price there, +155. So I like that, and and South Korea not to score, or you can just say both teams not to score. Maybe South Korea shuts out Brazil.
I mean, that's a great price for something that's happened in every game.
Yeah,
so far.
I'm on board. Morocco versus Spain. Morocco +550. Draw +290. Spain -175. I mean, Billy, I'm a TMZ soccer guy. Just get the headlines here, but I don't know what I've seen out of Spain that would warrant them being this big of a favorite against a scrappy Moroccan team. What am I missing here? Do you like the favorite, or does Morocco have a chance?
No, this is my favorite underdog of the round.
Oh, okay, nice. Let's go.
Reason being simply because Spain are favored because obviously they started that massive win against Costa Rica. Smashed. I can't remember if it was 7 or 8-0.
7.
But it was 7 or 8-0. They smashed Costa Rica in their opening game. They then had a 1-1 draw against Germany, and then they rotated their whole team. Now, there's a lot of belief that was done with this bracket in mind, because they now drop into this bracket where they play Morocco. They face the winner of the Portugal game, because Portugal are now playing Switzerland. So they've completely avoided Brazil, and they've also avoided Croatia. But historically, when you do stuff like this, if they have in fact done that, I mean, team selection alone tells you that they didn't care about that last game against Japan. So team selection alone, when you change your entire team and you put yourself in this position and you think you have an easier game, sometimes it does bite you in the arse. In my opinion, if I was Spain, you knock Croatia out of Euro 2020. Croatia are a team who like to dominate the ball in the possession. Spain are a team who do that too, but they're younger, technically better, and have better players. So in Croatia, you would have been playing a worse version of yourself. And if you want to win this tournament, you need to play all the teams anyway. I'd rather play Brazil in a quarterfinal rather than playing them in a World Cup final where every neutral who already has tickets for the final is all supporting Brazil because it's just a cooler thing to do. So I would rather try and knock Brazil out early, but they've taken this route, be it on purpose or not. And they're coming up against a Morocco team who've only conceded 1 goal. That was via goalkeeper blunder. They managed to sit in and get a draw against Croatia. They've already beaten Belgium, which is the result that ultimately knocked them out. And they're a very, very hard team to break down. So now they're coming up against a more physical team. And Spain have notoriously struggled against teams that sit in, make themselves difficult to break down, are physical. And because they don't have that outlet, like they don't have a player like Lewandowski or Erling Haaland or Ronaldo at his peak, where you can say, okay, this isn't working. We can't break this team down. Let's start peppering the ball into the box so, you know, the striker can get the header, or we can put balls in. Like, they don't play that direct style. They're going to continue to pass to try and break this team down. And Belgium couldn't break this team down, and Croatia couldn't break this team down. So I don't think this is a good draw for Spain. Like, I don't think that, like, playing to, if they did do that at all, trying to be in this half of the draw, I don't think that's a wise move. I think this is a very difficult game against a very organised team who have only conceded 1 goal so far. And yeah, I feel that this could be the dog of the round if there is one. This is the one I would bet.
Yeah, all in on Morocco.
Spain, notoriously soft program, as Colby would call it. Also, Spain once colonized Morocco, and as Alexi Lalas pointed out on one of the post-game shows, probably after the U.S. victory or the pregame show for the Iran game, sometimes you run into emotions you don't expect because you're just in your own box. And you might not understand that the Iranians fucking hate the United States players, or that Moroccan players don't like Spanish, whatever it is. This is an absolute narrative spot too, Sean, because this Spanish game, what do? What happens to a team when they finagle with their playoff seeding?
Oh, I mean, Morocco has bulletin board material. There's just a photo of.
Oh, you wanted to play?
Yeah. Oh, you what?
Just
you
like you came down here and took our land. You cut. Oh man, if I was the coach, the pregame speech, you could be epic.
Oh, 100% in.
I like. So I saw, and maybe they'll come out. I could have sworn at some point I saw where you could bet on like there to be a goal in the first X minutes. I feel like I like this game for Morocco to come out and randomly get a goal right
Plus
away.
550 in 90 minutes. That feels like super fun.
I'm gonna write this one down.
Great way to start the Tuesday morning off. Last game, and then we're gonna get to USA.
What's the under on this, Sean? Just out of interest.
Oh yeah, let me see the
under 2.5 on this game.
It's the total goals. I mean, you can play 2.5 over plus 125, under 155 is what I'm seeing.
Yep.
Okay.
Do you got to play on the total, or you just
sounds like
yeah?
Under.
I think under. I think this is going to have a definitive pattern of play. They've already played this opponent twice, essentially. Belgium and Croatia will both be dominating the ball, and we're trying to break this team down. And Belgium scored no goals, and Croatia scored no goals. So yeah, this is a much more difficult game than people think it is. I mean, they shouldn't think it's not, because they've just won the group with those 2 teams in it. They were the 3rd favorites to win that group, and they were only narrowly 3rd favorites ahead of Canada. So yeah, I mean, this is a dangerous team. I wouldn't want to play them.
All right, another game on Tuesday, and then we're going to get to the Saturday games, including USA versus Netherlands, Portugal versus Switzerland. This one's kind of interestingly priced. Portugal minus 115, draw is plus 245, Switzerland plus 360. As far as the price to advance, Portugal a decent favorite here, minus 225, Switzerland a plus 180 dog. What do you like here, Billy? This seems like it should be a little bit closer than some of these other games.
Yeah, it is, because Switzerland have just come through the group with Brazil in it with 2 wins. They've just beaten Serbia. Serbia are the team who topped Portugal's qualification group, which is why Portugal had to go for a playoff. So Serbia already beat Portugal. And Switzerland are also a team who knocked France out of the Euros last year. So This is a team that no tournament football, no superstars, but a lot of players that turn up for tournaments. They got Xhaka of Arsenal who's having a good season. Shaqiri, he seems to disappear for the whole club season and then turns up for World Cups and European Championships. Scored again today. So yeah, this is a dangerous team. And again, Portugal, like Brazil, like Spain, they're in that situation where they'd won the group. They didn't give any consideration to anyone else's situation. They completely rotated their whole team, and today they lost. For me, you're at this tournament, like, yeah, make 3 or 4 changes, utilize your squad. But I think all these teams making 9, 10 changes, your momentum's gone. Like, I don't understand why you make that momentum change. Like, you now go into this game with a loss. It doesn't seem to make any sense. Whereas Switzerland, they come into it off the back of a big win. Like, it was a deciding game. They were narrowly beaten by Brazil. They'll even have confidence from a loss against Brazil because that was a narrow 1-0 win where Brazil had to score a great goal to beat them. So yeah, this is going to be difficult for Portugal. I'm not sure how to really bet this game. I would definitely not be looking at Portugal at those short odds, either on the money line or to qualify. Just because I just don't like anybody that decided to sit people and ended up losing. I don't think that's a good way to go into these games.
Yeah, it's the rest versus rust thing. I mean, I'm kind of with you. I don't know if I'm maybe you take Portugal to win in penalty kicks. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Or you just play the draw plus 245. That's kind of fun. I'll toss that out.
Sean, I'm going to cut that. Sean saying that betting a draw will be fun.
No, I'm
you can take. There might be a line there for the for Switzerland +1 on the Asian handicap line, but it may be juicy. I'm not sure. That means that you only lose if they get beaten by 2. But I'm sure it'll be juiced. Or you can take maybe Switzerland +0.5, which means they won't get beaten in 90 minutes. There could be another way to bet it, but that definitely won't be juiced because obviously that has the contrast to the money line price. So that will be a plus money selection. But +1, there'll be some juice on that, but it could be worth taking because I don't think Portugal are beating this team by 2 goals.
Switzerland +1, you'd have to lay 180.
That's juicy, isn't it? It's too juicy for this podcast.
It's insurance. I mean, you're basically just getting a lot of insurance against a 1 goal loss.
Yeah, I don't know.
Switzerland -0.5 plus 340.
All right, now we're talking. That's what
Switzerland -1.5 plus 1100. Let's go.
You know what the ultimate plus money situation is? Rocket Money. That's right. Taking away all your wasted subscriptions. Think of how many things you sign up for. Give them your credit card. Hey, free trial. Next thing you know, you're getting billed $4.99, $5.99, $7.99 a month. It adds up, and canceling all those things can add up to a ton of savings. Most people spend around, or think they spend around $80 a month in subscriptions. Really, it's $200 plus. There are tons of things you're paying for on a subscription that you're not using. I mean, maybe you sign up for a Jerky of the Month club or some Wine of the Month club and you forget to send it back. I know Colby still gets 12 CDs for a penny. So whatever it is, cancel those unnecessary subscriptions. Rocket Money makes it super easy to cancel. All you got to do to get started is go to rocketmoney.com/SGPN. You can save hundreds, if not thousands a year. rocketmoney.com/SGPN. Cancel all your unnecessary subscriptions right now at rocketmoney.com/SGPN. Get into the Saturday games. We got Argentina threw an extra IN in there. Argentina versus Australia. Australia kind of shocking the world here to advance. They were going nuts. Shout out to all the listeners down under. That was a really fun win for them and a fun. I mean, for me, it's like Australia won their Super Bowl. Argentina probably going to cruise here. The 3-way line is Argentina -475, draw +600, Australia +1300. To advance, Argentina is -1100, Australia +650. What do you like here, Billy?
Yeah, it's a similar cap to really the Brazil game. Argentina again, they've gone in at halftime. Apart from in the Saudi game, which they were winning, they went in level against the Poles and they went in level against Mexico as well, and really turned it up in the second half. never looked in any danger in those games at all. But they were finding it difficult to break teams down. Obviously, everybody's aware of Messi. Everybody's going to put 2 players on him, so it's difficult for him to get free and do things in this tournament. Like, he received a lot of criticism for his World Cup record and things he's done in the World Cup, but everybody knows who he is. And he plays in a different role for Argentina. So when he comes in behind his strikers in front of that midfield, it's easier to pick him up when you have 2 midfielders going to. But it should release other players. And the difference, as I said when we started this tournament, he now has those players who can carry the load. We saw Julian Alvarez of Manchester City coming into the team and scoring. He did a better job than Lautaro Martinez. So yeah, he's surrounded by players who can do things when he's double marked. He's also got a solid defense. You know, you can bring players in and out of that back line. Australia don't really carry much goal threat. They managed to win against Tunisia, which was an upset. And Denmark dominated them, and they managed to score 1 goal in the counter-attack while Denmark were chasing the game. They're the luckiest 2-win team to be here. So I don't think they're going to do much here. I think you're really looking for how Argentina qualify. I don't think Australia score, so Argentina to 0 or Argentina, both teams to score no, much like Brazil. Possibly a draw at half-time if Australia can navigate the first 45 minutes.
No. Billy.
Lost.
There he goes.
Lost you for a second. Are you there, Billy?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
All right. Yeah, we're good.
All right. So yeah, Australia and
all right. So real quick, I did add them to the part: France, England, Brazil, and Argentina. Now
that is a hell of a parlay. I mean, this to me is a very simple win. Build your own bet. Argentina on the 3-way, so to win in 90, and both teams to score no.
Okay. Yeah.
You're laying some juice, but it's not crazy. It's only -160 to me. That feels like a good way to bet this. As much as I love Australia, this felt like getting here was their Super Bowl, and it's a good time to fade them.
It felt like some Gatorade was spilt.
Yes,
in the proverbial Gatorade.
Is there more or less on under 3.5 instead of the both teams to score no, like with the under 3.5? Because Argentina haven't been prolific yet. Like, they haven't put 4 or 5 in, and I don't see them doing it here.
So yeah, you're saying instead of doing
no, your price is better under 3.5. Well, are you saying parlaying it to under?
Yeah. So if you parlay Argentina and under 3.5, that's only -125. All right. So there we go. That's the way to play.
Which, funny enough, Sean, that is also the price of the money line parlay, the France, England, Brazil, Argentina, all to advance. -125. What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly?
I wrote it down. It's happening.
Yeah. That's a fun one and I mean, I guess if Brazil wins 4-0, you're screwed. But other than that, but you're even covered. You're even covered if. Sorry, yeah. You're even covered if Argentina wins 2-1. So. I like that the best out of those that we gave out. So yeah, good call on that, Billy. Final game that we will be discussing in the knockout stage. Last one we haven't talked about. USA squaring off against the hated Netherlands on the 90-minute line. Netherlands -110, draw +235. USA +350 in 90 minutes. For me, it's a simple handicap. USA gets it done. They get it done 1-0. And if they are going to win, it's probably is going to be something like that. So I like USA in 90 minutes at +350. I also do like the exact outcome, and you can get that USA 1-0 at like +950. So that's a fun way to play it as well. But Billy, you're the impartial observer. What do you like in this USA Netherlands handicap?
Yeah, I don't hate anything you just said, actually.
Oh wow! Okay.
Because I mean, my lock play for this game will be to take the under 2.5 goals. I don't think there's going to be 3 goals here. USA so far in this tournament have only scored 2, but all of their games have gone under. They haven't looked like conceding a goal from open play. The only goal that they conceded was a penalty from Gareth Bale. So this team are set up well. They're defensively organised. They're running. They're running. I can't say kilometers because we don't know what it means. Yeah.
No, we know kilometers. It's just
Sean just
they're covering great distances because obviously this is a very young team who not a lot of people were, including myself, were not expecting them to mature until 2026. I mean, and to have a real run in 2026, I was looking at Pulisic moving to a club that plays him every week because he's not playing regularly at Chelsea. If he can get regular football and you can bring some people in, particularly a number 9, then USA will have a serious team. I mean, if Erling Haaland was American, then USA would be challenging for this World Cup now because they're so well organized and they're doing everything that these teams like Korea and Japan are doing. Like USA are doing everything that they're doing in terms of why they're here. They're just outworking their opponents. With this Dutch team, they haven't looked overly impressive so far. Yeah, they beat Qatar, and yeah, they ended up breaking through Senegal, who ended up setting up with a low block. But against Ecuador at times, they were dominated for periods in that game, which was surprising and worrying for people to see. The one stat that stands out, though, is that Louis van Gaal is unbeaten in the World Cup. He's already got to a World Cup semi-final and lost it on penalties. So that's graded as a draw on his record. So he's already been to one World Cup semi-final. He's now navigated 3 group games as well. So he's unbeaten in 10. So this team are difficult to beat under Van Gaal. In fact, since he's retaken over the job, because he was the manager back in 2014, since he's retaken over the job, he hasn't lost the game either, and he's got them through to the Nations League semi-final. So there is a possibility that they coasted through what was an easy group. But, you know, it doesn't mean that necessarily that you can just step up the gears, because I wouldn't say the Netherlands are any better than England, and England really struggled against the US. When US are playing this high-intensity football and they're organised, this is going to be a difficult game. It's going to be decided, I think, by 1 goal. Perhaps even that goal doesn't even come in a 90-minute period. I'm all over the under. I'm all over the first half under. I'm even on the possibility of this one going to extra time. The one worry I have, in contrast to what you gave out, or I think you gave out patriotically rather than logically, is that the quality lies with Holland. So in a scrappy game, you're looking at Cody Gakpo, you're looking at Memphis Depay, you're looking at these types of players who can win the game. You're looking at a corner maybe when they can send up somebody like Van Dijk to get on the end of it. So there are a lot more dangers in the Dutch team where they can win when they're playing badly. In fact, they've won 2 games in this tournament where they haven't even played well. So that's the main problem. So I would lean on Holland to qualify here, but there's loads of ways that you can bet this as a USA fan. You could bet on the draw. You could take USA +1, USA double chance, under 2.5 goals, maybe even under 2 goals, because that pushes if there's 2 goals. You only lose if there's 3. I don't see 3. I see a very definitive pattern of play here where USA are very, very difficult to break down, and in periods they go for it like they did against England, and Holland have to do more defending than they have done so far in the tournament, other than the Ecuador game.
Sean, did you know this is the only knockout round game between teams that are undefeated?
Really?
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Fun fact. Yeah. So look, I think Billi kind of stole the thunder. He's the Dutch coach has never lost, as you put it, wood shoes and tulips. I think USA win, like the patriotic angle is USA wins in penalties plus 800.
Okay.
USA wins in extra time is plus 1600. But I think the penalties is the way to go. They scrap out a draw all the way to the end. Then talent gets distilled to nothing.
And what is the win in penalties?
Plus 800.
Okay.
Are we writing that down?
I like 1-0 at 10-1, and then also give me USA in 90 and under 2.5. That you can get at plus 575.
Oh.
So I might hit both, Ryan.
Oh.
Yeah, I may go 1-0 both ways, and also have the 0-0 as well. That'll be a fun watch for you guys. But yeah, I mean, the 0-0 is a very possibility. Definitely getting into halftime. I don't think anybody's really going to go up the gears in the first 45 minutes. I just can't see the Dutch breaking the USA down in the first 45 minutes. They've been so difficult to score against so far. England barely created anything. And they're supposed to be a better team on paper than this Holland team. So yeah, I think the first 45 minutes, definitely no goals is a good way to go here.
Well, let's just hope we have another hero who's willing to put his dick on the line for America, right?
Yes. Who are that? Why is that kid Renya not playing? The manager just hates him. What are we missing here? Isn't he supposed to be really good?
Yeah, I think it's just about balance. I think when you have players in certain positions and they're willing to track back and do a little bit more of the work. For me, this is more of like a pragmatic team. I mean, they definitely need a 9. If they had a 9, like I said, if they had a Lewandowski, Haaland, somebody to actually put the ball in the back of the net, this team would be a lot more dangerous. I mean, they're missing so many chances per game. And then that's what makes them dangerous here, because suddenly like something could find its way in the back of the net, and then Holland are chasing the game against the team who haven't conceded goals. So I'm really surprised by how organized the USA are. When you look at all of these young players and you look at, when they're really supposed to make their run in 2026, I didn't expect them to be, I expected them to be more erratic than this and to be involved in more like end-to-end games. But for them to be disorganized, and obviously the hard working side of it's not a surprise because they've got a lot of young players who have European experience. But yeah, this is a big surprise for me, and they're dangerous. I wouldn't want to play them. I mean, we already did, and it wasn't a good result for us. So
it sounds like Billy a little bit just validated the Kadarius Toney bit with Rania. He's not willing to be a hard worker. He's not willing to commit. He's not willing to work back on defense, and maybe that's why he's not finding the field.
That could be it. Billy, before we let you go, any futures you think are worth jumping in now that we've seen, a bit of now that we've seen a little bit of the tournament? Anything, teams to win, teams to, I don't know, get to the finals. Anything jumping out at you right now?
I think I think there's less, the other side that everybody wanted to be on. I feel there could be more upsets there. I feel like France's game is more dangerous. England's game is slightly dangerous. Portugal's game is dangerous. Whereas on the other side, I don't see past Brazil and Argentina. I do believe they're on a collision course. So, I mean, continually backing them to advance, just parlaying on top of each, on top and on top and on top. So I'm always explaining to people how parlay works. It's just basically one bet and then taking everything from it, the winnings and the stake, and then just putting it back on and on. So if you do that 4 times till you get to the semi-final, that could be a way to go. Or you could just take the Brazil to reach the semis and Argentina to reach the semis. But I think both those selections will be juiced considerably at this point. I do think that they'll end up playing each other. I just don't see dangerous opponents on that side. When you're looking at Croatia, Japan, whoever comes out of that will ultimately end up losing to Brazil. So yeah, and when you're looking at the Holland and USA, USA obviously, as I said, set up very well, organised, and Holland don't seem to lose under Van Gaal. But if you offered that to Brazil and Argentina at the start of the tournament and said, "Hey, you got to get past Croatia, Japan, USA, or Holland, and you're in the World Cup semi-finals before you play each other," they would have definitely taken it. Yeah. So that's the side of the draw that everybody wanted to avoid, and I feel that Brazil and Argentina will get there. On the other side, I think it's a lot more susceptible to upsets. There's no guarantees England are going to be there or France are going to be there. I mean, England, France, and Spain, Portugal is supposed to be your projected quarterfinals. With their 2 rivalry games, England neighbour France. We don't like France. France don't like us. And Spain and Portugal, they're right next to each other as well. They don't like each other either. So you want those games to happen, but they won't. One of them won't happen.
Sean, all right. So just real quick to recap, I took notes. I was scribing the entire episode. This is what we're gonna invest in.
Okay.
First half unders for every game. Brazil first half plus no score. I didn't write down the price, but it was nice.
Oh, Brazil tie at halftime is plus 155.
It was whatever. Yeah, exactly. 0-0 tie specifically.
Oh, okay. I didn't look that one up.
I don't think we wrote the price. Japan plus 1,500 win in extra time. Japan advance plus 150.
Like that.
Morocco plus 550 to advance in 90. We also liked the under in that one. Argentina in 90 plus under 3.5 at minus 125. Something Sean gave out. The USA and penalties was mine at plus 800. Sean liked the USA to win in 90, under 2.5 plus 560. I think you said USA won nothing, 10-1. Billy just recommended that you mechanical parlay the Argentina Brazil games all the way till they meet each other.
Yeah, that
which I like that. It is. There is something mentally tough about taking everything and saying I'm going to let this ride on the next game.
Oh,
but I think we're going to have to do that. And then this I kind of worked up on my own. We have the France, England, Brazil, Argentina all advance minus 125. And then I figured you would like this one, Sean. Plus 880 is what it pays. Japan, Morocco, both just to advance.
woo-hoo. Let's go. Big dog.
That was it. That was the sheet of bets. So
all right.
We
and one little side tip as well. It's not very it's not very in tune with being a DGen. It's very anti-DGen actually. But I've noticed that the books are not really pricing things up correctly for all this injury time that we're getting.
Yeah.
So when you first half unders, you are having to navigate like 50 to 52 minutes instead of your usual 45. But the books are not pricing up for that. So if you are riding a first half under and you've managed to navigate 35 to 40 minutes, a first half goal or an over 0.5 starts to move in price. So you're looking at plus 300, plus 350, plus 400 hedges. I know it goes against like the DGen philosophy, but if you want to make money and make sure that you make it, those hedges are worth taking, because I feel that when goals are scored in those halves, they do come towards the end when teams switch off and think they've got to halftime level and they've done their job. And then suddenly you're hit with something in the 40th or 45th minute. So yeah, definitely follow those in plays, because they're pretty big. The hedges are pretty big. I'm not talking about hedging at like plus 150. I'm talking like plus 400, plus 450, like in the last few minutes of a half.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wonder if there's some science around grabbing it before they declare how many minutes of stoppage time.
Ooh,
knowing that their algorithm is probably gonna under guess every time. Yeah, I like that. That's a good tip, Sean. Just real quick, I know when I said plus 880 out loud, I felt like there was a little bit of a disappointment in the audience, not hearing a bigger number. So if you did want to do Morocco, if you did want to do Morocco and Japan in 90 minutes tied together instead of advancing,
yes, that's what I want.
You can juice it from plus 880 to advance both teams to plus 2,500.
Now we're talking
for them to both win in 90 minutes.
Let's go, Ryan. Hey, Billy, appreciate you calling in. Make sure you follow Billy on Twitter at SGP Soccer, and of course subscribe to the Soccer Gambling Podcast on Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. Toss him a nice rating review on Apple Podcasts as well.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
I was barely prepared, Sean. I was barely prepared.
America.
I had this on my show as well.
Hell yeah. Kramer, let it ride.